The ring that changed everything. The restaurant went silent. Tears shimmered in her eyes as she stared at the man on one knee, holding out a tiny box. People clapped. Some took out their phones to record. Soft music played in the background. But Ava wasn't smiling. Inside the box was a ring, small, plain, and definitely not the one they had looked at together weeks ago. The one he promised he'd buy when he was ready. The one she had dreamed about since the day they started dating. Still, she looked down at Ethan, the man she had loved for 2 years, and said, "Yes." The applause returned. Strangers cheered. Waiters clapped. But in Ava's heart, something had quietly broken. That night, as she sat on the edge of their bed, she turned the ring in her fingers. It felt light, too light. No certificate, no engraving, not even a brand name on the box. It didn't feel like a real diamond. It felt like a cheap trick, and worse, it felt like a lie. But why? Why would Ethan, sweet, caring Ethan, fake a proposal? Ava had always been the type who saw the best in people. She worked as a pediatric nurse, spent weekends helping her elderly neighbor shop for groceries, and still mailed birthday cards to her high school teacher. So when she met Ethan at a volunteer fundraiser, it had felt like fate. He was charming, witty, a software engineer who claimed he was tired of fake people and ready for something real. They fell in love quickly. Weekend road trips, long movie nights, inside jokes. He was thoughtful, until lately, in the last 3 months, Ethan had started pulling away. Late nights at work, locked phone, sudden mood swings. She had brushed it off as stress. Now, sitting in the dark with a fake diamond on her finger, she wasn't so sure anymore. The next morning, Ava did something she'd never done before. She took the ring to a jeweler, the old man at the jewelry. Store wore glasses thick enough to see through time. He examined the ring in silence for a full minute. Then he looked at her with a small, sad smile. "This isn't real diamond, dear. It's glass, and not even good quality." Ava's heart sank. "Are you sure?" He turned the ring in the light. "No markings, no cuts, no paperwork. It's not worth more than $20. She thanked him and walked out, her hands shaking. $20. Ethan had told her he was saving up. He said he wanted to give her something special, just needed time. So why lie? That night she confronted him. Ethan was in the kitchen, heating leftover pasta. She placed the ring gently on the counter, between them. "Why did you lie to me?" He froze. "What are you talking about?" "The ring. It's fake. I got it checked." His face changed. Not with guilt, with anger. "So you don't trust me now?" "This isn't about trust," she said, voice calm but firm. "You lied to me. You planned a public proposal. You knew I'd say yes, but you gave me a fake ring." He slammed the microwave shut. "Do you know how hard I've been working? Do you know how expensive life is right now? Then why not just wait? Why fake it?" He didn't answer. He picked up his phone and walked out. Ava stood there staring at the pasta boiling over. Something was very, very wrong. Over the next few days, Ethan avoided her. He came home late, slept facing the wall, barely spoke during meals, and then one night he didn't come home at all. Ava called him, texted, nothing. At 3 a.m., her phone buzzed. It was a text. Just 5 words. "Don't look for me. Goodbye." Her hands shook as she read it again and again. She tried calling him, but his phone was turned off. The next morning, his clothes were gone. So was his laptop. The bathroom cabinet was empty of his things. No note, no explanation. Just gone. Ava sat on the bed, staring at the empty space beside her. Her eyes burned with tears. Her heart pounded with questions. Where had he gone? Why would he disappear like that? Was it really about the ring, or was he hiding something else? She had to know. So she opened his desk drawer, something she had never done before, and what she found inside made her stomach drop. The hidden drawer. Ava's fingers trembled as she slid open the drawer in Ethan's home office. She expected old receipts, maybe a few notebooks, but instead there was something strange. Inside, neatly arranged, were 6 envelopes, all unmarked, and under them a small black notebook with no name, no label. Just worn corners and a red elastic band around it. Ava sat down slowly. She opened the first envelope. Inside was a folded piece of paper, a bank deposit slip. Her eyes scanned the details. It wasn't from their joint account. The name on the deposit was Ethan's, but the account it was sent to wasn't familiar. It was a large amount, $7,000, sent just 2 weeks ago. Her heart began to race. She opened the second envelope. Another slip. Different amount. Same pattern. By the time she opened the 5th envelope, she had counted over $30,000 in quiet transfers. Where was this money going, and why was he hiding it? Finally, she picked up the notebook. It was filled with scribbles, names, places, dates, and numbers. Lots of numbers. One name kept appearing over and over again. Mara. Ava had never heard the name before. It was circled in bold red ink several times, followed by random cities and dollar figures. Some pages had sketches of apartment layouts, others had lines scratched out violently with black pen. It didn't make sense, none of it. She flipped to the last page. There, in Ethan's handwriting, was a short line that sent a chill down her spine. If anything happens to me, it's because of her. Her blood ran cold. Who was her? And why would he write something so dramatic and terrifying? Just then, Ava heard something. A soft buzz. Ethan's old laptop. She hadn't touched it since he left. It was password protected. But she tried anyway, and surprisingly it opened. The desktop background was plain. But one folder stood out. It was titled simply, "Do Not Open." Of course, she clicked it. Inside were dozens of photos, some of her, some of Ethan, and some of a woman she didn't recognize. Long, dark hair, sharp green eyes, a small tattoo on her wrist, a snake coiled around a dagger. Ava clicked through more pictures. Some were of this woman sitting across from Ethan in a coffee shop. Others showed them walking into a hotel lobby. One showed her standing at a distance, watching Ava. Suddenly her mouth went dry. Was Ethan cheating? Was this woman stalking her? Or was it something far, far worse? She clicked on a video file, heart thudding. In her chest, it was low quality, but she could hear Ethan's voice, shaky, nervous. "If you're watching this, it means I didn't make it. Her name is Mara. She said she'd ruin me if I didn't do what she wanted. I tried to back out, I swear. I thought proposing to Ava would stop all of this, but she didn't care. She wants something else now, something worse." The video ended. Ava covered her mouth with both hands. Her body felt like it was sinking into the floor. This wasn't just about a fake ring. Ethan was involved in something dangerous, something that made him disappear. And now she was part of it. The next day, Ava didn't go to work. She called in sick, closed the blinds, and sat in the middle of the living room surrounded by envelopes, the notebook, and the laptop. Every time she thought about the ring, she felt foolish. She had focused so much on that small glass stone, not realizing the real danger was something much bigger and much closer. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She hesitated, then answered. "Hello?" There was silence for a few seconds. Then a woman's voice, calm, smooth, and chilling. "You're smarter than I thought, Ava." Ava froze. "Who is this? You found the notebook. That means Ethan broke his promise. What do you want?" Ava's voice cracked. The woman laughed softly. "I already took what I needed from him. Now, it's your turn." Click. CT line went dead. Ava dropped the phone like it had burned her hand. She rushed to the window and looked out. No one. Just quiet streets and parked cars, but something had changed. She didn't feel safe anymore. She wasn't just trying to find Ethan now. She was trying to survive. The woman in the shadows, Ava, didn't sleep that night. She sat on the floor, her arms wrapped tightly around her knees, listening for every sound. A creak in the hallway, a passing car, the rustle of leaves outside. The woman's voice kept echoing in her mind. Now, it's your turn. What did she mean by that? Why, Ava? She tried calling Ethan again. Still nothing. His number was either off or disconnected. At sunrise, Ava stood, picked up the notebook again, and began scanning the pages with more care. The woman's name, Mara, appeared repeatedly, but this time Ava noticed something new. One page had a list written in Ethan's handwriting. Mara, 2018, Cape Town Mara, 2019, Dubai Mara, 2020, Toronto Mara, 2021, Missing, London, 2023. Last seen, Seattle, Ava's hometown. Suddenly her thoughts raced. If Ethan had known this woman for years, if she'd been following him across countries, maybe he wasn't running from Ava. Maybe he was running to her, to keep Ava safe. Her hands shook again. Something told her the police couldn't help. She barely had anything concrete, just a fake ring, some strange money trails, and a hidden video from a vanished fiancé. No proof, no names, and a terrifying voice on the phone. But maybe there was someone else who could help. Ava didn't have many friends close enough to trust with this, but there was one, her older brother Liam, a journalist who worked with investigative teams in Los Angeles. He had exposed political scandals and worked on underground crime stories. If anyone could help, it was him. She called. He answered on the second ring. "Ava, are you okay?" Her voice cracked. "No. I think I'm in danger. And Ethan, he's gone." She explained everything. The fake ring, the notebook, the video, and the terrifying call. Liam didn't interrupt once. When she finished, there was silence. Then he said, "Send me the video, every page of that notebook, and don't go anywhere alone." Within an hour, he called back. "I think I know who she is," Liam said. "Mara's not just some crazy ex. Her real name is Marilyn Cortez. I did a piece on her 2 years ago. She's a suspected fraudster, possibly linked to international blackmail operations, corporate secrets, data theft, even fake marriages. But she always vanishes before charges stick." Ava felt sick. "You're saying Ethan was caught up in something illegal?" "Possibly," Liam said. "Or maybe he was just used. She targets smart, lonely men, pretends to fall in love, and then takes everything. Some say she even forces them to work for her. Ethan could have been one of them. That would explain the money transfers," Ava whispered. "And now she's after me." "I'm coming to you," Liam said without hesitation. "We'll figure this out together." 3 days later, Liam arrived with his laptop, a camera, and a look of quiet determination. He had already dug deep. Mara, or Marilyn Cortez, had been flagged under multiple aliases across several countries. The photo Ava had seen on Ethan's laptop matched one used in a missing persons report from South Africa. Another image matched a police sketch from a tech scandal in Germany. "She's good," Liam said, clicking through files. "She changes. Her look just enough to avoid facial recognition, and she never stays long. But why would she call me?" Ava asked, still shaken. Liam looked grim. "Because you have something she wants, or she wants to make sure you stop digging." Ava nodded. "Then let's dig deeper." That night, while scanning the black notebook again, Ava noticed a folded paper stuck between 2 pages. It was old and stained, as if Ethan had hidden it there in a hurry. She unfolded it carefully. It was a sketch, a floor plan, hand-drawn, with rooms labeled, office, storage, server room, and a vault. At the bottom, Ethan had scribbled, "Her main location. If I disappear, this is where she is. But don't go alone." Ava stared at it, heart thumping. "What is this place?" she asked. Liam leaned closer. "It's not labeled, but these street names." He pulled up his map. "It's in the warehouse district, about an hour from here." Ava said nothing, just stared at the lines on the page, the messy arrows, and the bold circle around Vault. Something was hidden there, something worth disappearing over, something Ethan wanted her to find. The next morning, Ava made a choice. She packed a small bag, flashlight, gloves, her phone, and a copy of the map. Liam wasn't happy. "You're not going in alone," he warned. She met his eyes. "Then come with me." They drove in silence. The sun was setting behind them, casting golden light across the windshield. Ava held the notebook tightly in her lap. When they reached the address, her stomach turned. The building was old, grey, and looked abandoned. Vines crawled up the walls. The windows were covered with thick, dusty boards. No lights, no sound, but the lock on the front door was new, and on the ground near the step was a small silver charm, a snake wrapped around. A dagger. Ava's breath caught in her throat. "She's here," she whispered. Liam reached for his flashlight. "Let's find out what she's hiding." Inside the vault, the old warehouse smelled like dust and rusted metal. Ava and Liam stepped carefully over cracked concrete and fallen beams. The building groaned with every movement, as if it hadn't been disturbed in years. But the modern lock and the fresh tire tracks outside said otherwise. They were not the first ones here. Liam kept the flashlight steady while Ava held the notebook with the map drawn by Ethan. Left hallway. "Second door on the right," she whispered, tracing the lines. They found the door quickly, a thick metal one with a keypad. Ava stepped back. "Do we guess?" Liam examined the keypad, then looked at Ava. "Try his birthday," she nodded, and typed it in. The light blinked red. Liam tried again. "Try your birthday." She did. This time the light blinked green. The door clicked. Ava looked at Liam in disbelief. "He used my birthday." Liam gave a slight nod. "He wanted you to find this place. Not the police. Not me. You." They pushed the door open. Inside was a small office space. Dusty desks, empty coffee mugs, filing cabinets. But in the far corner, just like on the map, was another door. Reinforced steel, marked Vault, and next to it, taped to the wall, was a note in Ethan's handwriting. "If you've come this far, then it means I failed to stop her. But maybe you still can." Ava's chest tightened. Her heart pounded louder than her footsteps. Liam reached into his bag and pulled out a crowbar. "Let's see what's worth hiding behind this thing." It took 20 minutes of struggling, but finally the vault door creaked open. What they saw inside left them speechless. Stacks of hard drives, locked briefcases, crates labeled with foreign, bank names, and folders, dozens of folders with names, photos, and bank account numbers. Ava stepped inside carefully. On a table in the center sat a single red file. Her name was on it. She opened it slowly. Inside were surveillance photos of her walking into her job, at the grocery store, sitting at the park, even one of her sleeping on the couch. Ava's hands trembled. "She's been watching me." Liam grabbed another file. It had Ethan's photo on the front. Flipping through it, he found details about his job, his accounts, even the date of their proposal. Notes were scribbled along the margins. "Control with debt. Keep Ava close. Propose with fake ring by June." Ava gasped, tears welling in her eyes. "It was all planned," she whispered. "Even the proposal." Liam looked furious. She made him do it. She was controlling everything. Then Ava found something else. A key taped inside her file, and beneath the table a small safe. Her hands shook as she inserted the key. Inside was a single USB drive and a photo of Ethan, beaten and bruised, tied to a chair. On the back was written, "Help me, before it's too late." Ava collapsed into the chair beside her. "He's alive," she said, breathless. "She has him." Liam stood frozen. "Then we need to go. Now." As they exited the vault, they heard it. "Footsteps coming fast. Hide," Liam whispered, pulling Ava behind a tall shelf. Two people entered. A man and a woman. The woman was tall, dressed in black, long dark hair, snake tattoo on her wrist. Ava clutched Liam's arm. "It's her," she mouthed. "Mara." The man with her looked strong, silent, armed. They walked straight into the vault. Seconds later, Mara's voice echoed down the hallway. "They've been here." "The USB is gone," the man asked something in a low voice. "They're close," she said. "Find them." Ava's heart pounded so loudly she was sure they could hear it. Liam whispered, "On my signal, run." She nodded, tears in her eyes. Mara stepped out of the vault. 3 steps. 4. Then Liam kicked a loose pipe on the floor, sending a loud clang through the hallway. Mara spun around. "That way!" Ava and Liam ran, down the hallway, through the old office, and out the back exit. Gunshots rang out behind them. Ava screamed as a bullet hit the wall beside her. Liam grabbed her hand and pulled her behind an old dumpster. They waited, breathless. After a few minutes, the warehouse door slammed shut. "They're gone," Liam whispered. Ava collapsed into his arms, crying, "She has Ethan. She was going to destroy my life. Why? What did I do?" Liam held her. "You didn't do anything wrong. Ethan tried to protect you, and now we have the proof. That USB, it might be the key to bringing her down." That night, they drove to a safe location, a hotel Liam trusted. He plugged the USB into his encrypted laptop. Inside were folders of evidence. Videos, emails, voice recordings, proof of identity theft, fraud, blackmail, and one final video from Ethan. He looked scared, but calm. "Ava, if you're watching this, it means you found the vault. I'm so sorry, I never meant to hurt you. Everything I did, the lies, the proposal, it was to keep you safe. She said she'd kill you if I didn't cooperate. I thought I could handle her. I was wrong. But now that you have this, maybe there's still hope. Please finish what I couldn't." Ava wiped her tears. "I won't stop," she whispered. "I'll bring her down, and I'll find you." Liam looked at her with pride. She messed with the wrong woman. The trap! For the next 48 hours, Ava and Liam didn't leave the hotel room. They had one goal now: bring down Mara and save Ethan before it was too late. Liam worked non-stop, analyzing the data from the USB drive. Every file Ethan had saved was more disturbing than the last. Video proof of blackmail victims, recordings of business deals made under threats, and one chilling audio file where Mara ordered someone's disappearance. Ava couldn't sleep. She kept thinking of Ethan, bruised, scared, tied up, and how he had risked everything just to leave her that final message. She remembered the fake ring and how shattered she'd felt. But now she saw what it really meant. He had never wanted to deceive her. He had tried to save her in the only way he could, and now it was her turn to save him. Liam spoke up from across the room. "I've got something." Ava walked over quickly. "She's using a secure messaging app, but Ethan managed to copy part of the server log." "Look at this," Liam said, pointing to a message thread from just 2 days ago. It was from a contact labeled MC, private line. "Mara. Final drop this Friday. No witnesses. Location confirmed. Close the loop." Ava's blood ran cold. "What's Friday?" Liam checked the calendar. "Tomorrow." He zoomed in on the next line. A set of GPS coordinates. Ava copied them into her phone's map app. Her hands trembled. "It's a dock," she whispered, "just outside the city, an old shipping port." Liam nodded grimly. "They're going to move him, or worse. We need to get there before they do." Ava looked him in the eyes. "Let's set a trap." The next morning, Ava, dressed in black, pulled her hair into a tight ponytail, and strapped on the small body camera Liam had brought. She looked into the mirror. "I'm ready," she said, but inside her heart was pounding. Liam loaded the car with backup batteries, a burner phone and a signal jammer, just in case things went south. He'd already sent all the USB data to a trusted contact in the FBI, with instructions to go public if anything happened to them. It was their safety net. By the time they reached the dock, the sun had begun to set. Long shadows stretched across, rusted shipping containers and empty cranes. The air was thick with salt and danger, Ava whispered. "That warehouse there, it's the one on the blueprint Ethan left." They moved quietly, sticking to cover. Suddenly a black SUV pulled up to the dock. Ava and Liam ducked behind a stack of crates. Mara stepped out. She wore a long coat, dark sunglasses, and walked like she owned the world. 2 guards flanked her. Then the back of the SUV opened, and Ava saw him, Ethan, alive, weak, hands tied, face bruised, but alive. Ava's breath caught in her throat. Mara grabbed him by the collar and said something, too far to hear, then pointed toward the edge of the dock. Ava's instincts screamed. "They're going to kill him," she whispered. Liam nodded. "It's time." Ava stood up from cover and walked forward slowly, hands raised. Mara spotted her instantly. Her eyes widened. "Well," she said coldly, "look who crawled out of hiding." Ava kept her voice steady. "Let him go. It's over, Mara." Mara laughed. "Is it? You're standing alone. No backup, no weapon, no power." Ava gave a small smile. "I'm not alone." Behind her, Liam stepped into view, holding his phone up. "A live stream. Say hi to the internet," he said. "Thousands of people are watching." Mara's face froze. He flipped the phone screen around. The video was live, broadcasting everything. Behind him, a red recording light blinked on the body cam Ava wore. Mara's eyes darkened. Clever, but still foolish, she snapped her fingers. Her men raised their guns. In a split second, Liam hit the signal jammer. The guards' radios buzzed and died. Police sirens screamed in the distance, growing louder. Mara's eyes darted. "You called them." Ava stepped closer. "You planned every lie, every threat, every dollar stolen. But you didn't count on this. On Ethan risking everything to stop you. On me finding the truth. You wanted to erase him. You tried to erase me." Her voice rose. "But we're still here." Mara lunged forward, pulling a small pistol from her coat. Ava ducked as a shot rang out. Liam tackled one of the guards. The other tried to flee, but was stopped by the arriving police. 2 officers rushed toward Ethan and cut the ropes from his wrists. He collapsed to his knees. Ava ran to him. "Ethan!" she cried, catching him in her arms. He looked up at her, tears in his eyes. You came." She smiled through tears. "Of course I did." Later, after the police had taken Mara into custody and the area was sealed, Ava and Ethan sat in the back of an ambulance. Liam watched from nearby, exhausted but smiling. Ethan looked at her, eyes filled with guilt. "I thought I'd lost you forever. I didn't deserve you." Ava shook her head. "You risked your life to protect me. You always deserved to be loved. We just had to find our way through the lies." He took her hand. "I never wanted to give you a fake ring. I wanted to propose for real. I bought a real one. It's in my old apartment. I just never got to give it to you." Ava smiled softly. "Then maybe you still can." The real ring. The courtroom was silent except for the sound of paper shuffling and camera shutters. Mara sat across the room in chains, her face blank, but her eyes burning with fury. The trial had lasted 3 weeks. Ethan had testified. So had Ava. So had dozens of others who had been blackmailed, used, or nearly destroyed by Mara's schemes. The USB Ava and Liam had recovered had become the core of the case. Everything was on record now. Every lie, every threat, every dollar stolen. Justice had arrived, and it had a name. Ava Taylor, the prosecutor had said in her closing statement, was never supposed to find the truth. But she did. She risked her life to stop a criminal empire. She saved a man who was being used as a pawn, and she reminded us all what courage truly looks like. The judge gave Mara 35 years in prison without parole, and just like that, it was over. But Ava's story wasn't. 1 month later, Ava stood in front of her mirror watching her reflection. The bruises were gone now. The fear had faded, but something inside her had changed forever. She wasn't the same woman who had once cried over a fake ring. She had found strength in the middle of betrayal. She had discovered the truth behind a lie. She had saved someone who never stopped loving her, even when he had to lie to protect her. There was a knock on the door. It was Ethan. He was finally smiling like the man she used to know, but with new depth in his eyes and a softness in his voice that had never been fake. "I thought we could walk today," he said. "Get out of the house." She nodded and took his arm. They walked through the park where he had first proposed, with the fake ring, nearly a year ago. Everything looked the same, but everything felt different. Ethan stopped near the fountain. The sun was setting behind him, casting a golden glow. He turned to her, his hands slightly shaking. "I owe you a lot of apologies," he began. Ava placed a finger on his lips. "You already gave me the only thing that mattered, and the truth." He nodded, eyes moist. "I didn't know how to fix what I broke. I thought you'd never forgive me. I thought I had ruined us." She took his hand. "You didn't ruin us. You gave me the choice to fight for us. And I did." He reached into his coat pocket slowly, and this time there was no hesitation. He pulled out a small black box. "This one's real," he whispered. "I bought it just after I met you. I always knew it would be you. But I kept it hidden, afraid it would never happen." He dropped to one knee, right where the fake proposal had happened. Only now there were no lies. "Ava Taylor, will you marry me? For real this time?" Tears welled in her eyes. She laughed and cried all at once. Yes, 100 times, yes. News of Mara's arrest spread quickly. Ava and Ethan's story was covered by national media, not because of the scandal, but because of the resilience. Woman uncovers fiancé's secret life, then saves him from crime ring. From fake ring to real love, how a brave woman took down a criminal queenpin. People watched, listened, and wept, because this wasn't just a crime story. It was about love that survived lies, about a woman who refused to be a victim, about how truth once found changes everything. Ava didn't need to become famous. She just needed to be whole again, and she was. The wedding was small, close friends, no drama, no press. Liam was best man. He joked, "If anyone objects, speak now. Or remember, Ava just took down a whole criminal empire." Everyone laughed, and when Ethan slipped the real ring onto her finger, the crowd rose to their feet, because it wasn't just about a ring, it was about what they had earned through pain, truth, and forgiveness. That night, as the stars came out, Ava stood alone for a moment by the balcony. Ethan came up behind her and kissed her shoulder. "Do you regret anything?" he asked softly. She thought about it, really thought. "No," she said, "because even the fake ring led me to the real you, and through the worst lie, I found the truest love." He hugged her from behind, tight and warm. They had walked through fire and come out together, the lesson. Sometimes what looks like betrayal is actually a shield. Sometimes lies are told not to deceive, but to protect. But truth, once revealed, has a power that can heal even the deepest scars. Ava's story was never about a ring. It was about love surviving in the harshest place, inside the shadows of a secret. And now, standing in the light, she knew real love is never perfect. But it's always worth fighting for. The end.